Ladies, gentlemen, everything in between, welcome back to the City Boys podcast. This time, we're a little bit outside the city. That's why we're all in the USA gear. We'll throw it out. We got a couple different generations of the USA kits on right now. They're looking clean today. That's all I gotta say. Boys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, you guys know me. I'm Jacob. Unfortunately, this kit would only look better if it was playing for a championship, but it's not. So we just got to rep it in the streets.
Yes, sir. Going for the rugby jersey tonight, gentlemen. I am pleased to join you, everyone. My name is Ethan Thornton, and I am very excited to talk about some international soccer.
Yeah, we had quite the lineup. Gotta love it when the soccer gods bless us with a summer of soccer like this. We had the Euros and the Copa America wrap up this weekend. Honestly, glad it happened. I'm gonna cry now that it's over. Our weekends are gonna be so quiet, but gotta love those international tournaments. They just give you a good passion for soccer again and get you geared up for the Olympics coming up. And then we got, of course, Road to the World Cup. So be on the lookout for all that content when it comes around. But today, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Euros and the Copa America finals have finished up. The smoke has settled. Let's chat about it. We're going to hit the Euros first. So we had La Roja, Spain, becoming the most decorated Euro champion. They're now four-time champions of the Euros after defeating England 2-1. What an insane match. Gotta love it. Spain have really cemented themselves in history as a fantastic fucking team. Of course, everyone thinks back to their, 2010, 2012 days where they won the World Cup and then the Euros with a team of Iniesta and Xavi, David Villa, just class on class on class. How does Spain look now? Let's go ahead and head into our lineups.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hit you guys with the lineups. I will say this lineup is almost equally as full of class as back in those days. Being a team that started out the tournament not a favorite to win it, going completely undefeated to win it, you just have to give your respect to this squad. In the sticks, you've got the man Unai Simon in goal for La Roja. Then right back, the veteran, the one of the best right backs to ever play the game, in my opinion, Danny Carvajal. New face, new name for me as a soccer fan. La Normande at center back for La Roja, next to ex-French international, turned Spanish international, Aymeric Laporte, former Manchester City center back. I know all about Aymeric Laporte. And then Chelsea left back, potentially the most polarizing call in the entire tournament came from his hand, or maybe not his hand. It's still undecided. Cucurella. Going into the midfield, you've got Rodri, the heart and soul of Manchester City and the heart and soul of this Spain team. Next to him, you've got Fabian Ruiz, who honestly put in a shift all tournament. Going forward, the young man, the young goat, the 16 turned 17-year-old at this tournament, Lamine Yamal. God, he had an incredible tournament. Needs to be said, he won Young Player of the Tournament. In that number 10 position, Danny Olmo, a late call up to the squad, ended up playing every single game. He also had himself a tournament, wearing the number 10 for him. Wow. Next to him, another young beast, another young goat, Nico Williams, who, we'll get into it, scored a goal in this finals. And then up top, the other veteran, not your most favored, not your most highest pedigree of Spain strikers, but still really, really good at his job, Alvaro Morata. Then on the flip side, you've got England. We talked about it in the last video. made their tournament hard. The media was calling for their coach's head throughout, and yet somehow they were still able to propel themselves to the final. And their team is full of stars. You've got Jordan Pickford in net. Worst haircut on the field, but he was between the sticks. Luke Shaw,
Like back.
maybe the best haircut on the field at left back. Manchester United. Is he a go, Ethan?
We're gonna maybe for the England team, but we're gonna move past this conversation.
Up and coming center back star. He's going to get a bag this summer. He's going to go to a top 5 club in a top 5 league. Gahey. Next to him, center back slash CDM slash outside back. Could even play striker if you needed him to. Give him some gloves. He could probably play goalie as well. John Stones at center back, the Stone Wall. Next to him, the fastest player on the field by far. He picked up a small injury, but his body is so strong. It's built like a Bugatti, and that is Kyle Walker. Moving into the midfield, you've got the rock of this team, Declan Rice, who has the second worst haircut on the field. Next to him, Kobe Mainu, who, if Manchester United don't give him a bag, somebody the fuck else is.
Yeah, he's sticking around.
Going forward, honestly, all 3 of these players, they've got them listed in these positions, but they were rotating throughout. All very, very attacking, all very, very good. Jude Bellingham, the man, the superstar next to Mbappe for Real Madrid. In that 10 role, kind of played wing though, mostly. Phil Foden, the best player in the Premier League this last year. Not the best player in this tournament though, had himself kind of a blunder. Next to him, Bukayo Saka. Oh my God. I was slightly aware of his game, but now I am very, very aware of Saka's game. He was so good. And then the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga, one of the best goal scorers to ever wear an England jersey, Harry Kane. And that is our starting 11 for the Euro finals. What did you make of it, Ethan?
Those were 22 players that guarantee for an exciting matchup. And oh my God, did they provide tackles flying in all over the place. Emotions were running high in this final game. It was incredible. Spain definitely outclassed England. They just showed that they were the best team throughout the tournament. And I think Spain is a great example of what great team chemistry can do for a team. The power of friendship meme that always gets passed around. But I mean, truly, the vibes were so high on that Spanish team. And I do think that carried them through. We've seen the amazing photos of Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal celebrating together, and that tandem has looked amazing for them. The veteran leadership of Morata, just they did it. And we talked about how England made this tournament really hard for themselves. They continued to do so for 90 minutes in the Euro final, and they could not find a way through in extra time.
And I will point out both of these teams are super young. Especially with England. I mean, you look at these young stars, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Kobe Mainu, Jude Bellingham, Mark Gurhey. All these guys are super young. They're going to get another opportunity to win silverware for England, for club and for country. So don't expect, to see these guys disappear. We'll definitely see them back on the big stage. But yeah, same goes for Spain too. Uh, Huge youngsters with major tournaments. Lamine Yamal, got to talk about him. What a worldie! If you guys didn't see the now viral photo of Messi blessing Lamine Yamal when he was a baby, his family, like Lamine Yamal's family, won a random contest to get a photo taken with a random Barcelona player, and there you have it, history right there. Um, Insane
That
tournament for him, scoring that insane worldie to get them to the final. Just the stories are insane. And he earned an assist. Or did he earn an assist? Yeah, he got an assist that match.
He's an amazing player, and I love his parents. I saw an interview where his mom said that how can we say that Messi isn't the one that got blessed in that photo shoot just because obviously Yamal is such a talented young player. So who's to say? And then his father just hustling with him and coaching him up through his young years. It's been great to see and a really positive, wholesome story. definitely one of the future generations coming up with Mbappe, Bellingham, and potentially Endrick. We'll see, and we'll talk about him a little bit more when we talk about the Copa America. But that is something that these international tournaments solidified for me, is that soccer's in great hands, and the next generation is coming up extremely quickly and looking very good.
The most wild stat that I heard actually came from Declan Rice's interview. He brought the stat up that Lamine Yamal was 12 when COVID hit. 12 years old.
That's absurd.
That's how young this kid is. He was
Yeah,
12.
I believe he finished high school during the tournament. So the kid has had an elite summer, to put it
Yeah.
lightly.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine going to training and then going back to your hotel and turning in homework and studying for finals and then waking up and doing it all over again? That's crazy. Anyways, so I'm gonna break down the goals. It was quite a match full of beautiful, beautiful goals. Couldn't have asked for anything else from a final. I was so pleased to watch it. The first half was, I mean, from a casual standpoint, it wasn't nearly as entertaining as the second half was. But also from those of us who know ball, the first half was so entertaining. Just the not giving an inch so that they won't take a mile, the making sure that everybody's tracking back on defense and then everyone breaking out into counterattack for both teams. It was awesome. But the real action starts in the 47th minute. There was a quick buildup from Spain, which has kind of been their bread and butter all tournament. It was definitely their bread and butter in this game. Through ball put in from Carvajal to, as the aforementioned young god, Lamine Yamal. He drives to the top of the box, pulling all the defenders towards him. Nobody was looking at Nico Williams' far post run. Lamine Yamal lays the ball across the box to Nico Williams perfectly on a platter for Nico to one-time finish, rocket into the back of the goal to send Spain up 1-0.
I
A
gotta,
little bit later. Oh, go
I
ahead. Go
just
ahead.
gotta highlight that Carvajal pass.
Oh,
That shit was sexy as hell. Little outside of the boot, little flick on to send Lamine down and to give the Spanish players a an advantage to make it 3v2. Just a beautiful play there and definitely earned the 1-0 there.
also the body control from Yamal to not stop the momentum of the ball, but instead to get his body turned completely around and be able to take it in stride as opposed to holding up play right there. That was big brain from a young god. Some action happens again in the 73rd minute. Comes off of a counterattack. Spain shot on goal from Oyarzabal, but Pickford was quick on his feet, picks the ball up, quick out to Saka. Saka picks it up, drives down the sideline, finds himself at the top of the 18, puts the ball in for Jude Bellingham. He's got a man on his back. Jude Bellingham, with one touch, is able to turn and just lay the ball off. Again, another platter for Cole Palmer, the Chelsea man. Ice in his veins. One time rocket piss missile into Spain's net to tie the game 1-1 in the 73rd minute. The crowd was going crazy. I was going crazy, and I didn't even want him to win. It was so sick.
Oh no, that to make it a 1-1 game at that late of a stage where, at this point, I don't know if there's any more goals in the game. But this Euros has showed us that there are so many late goals. With like 2 minutes left, even in extra time, we've seen so many goals from England, from Spain, from Germany, tons of late action in these Euros. So I was here for it. I was here for it. And we did get some more late action even later than that.
Yeah, it was crazy. After that goal, the game really, really opened up. It was end-to-end stuff. Both teams were pushing forward to try to win the whole thing, and the luck just bounced Spain's way again in the 86th minute. Another quick build-up from Spain. Like I said, their bread and butter. From back to front, in order to find Oyarzabal, was two passes. Final Yarzabal. Oyarzabal takes a touch, turns, plays it out wide to Cucurella. Cucurella takes a touch, sees the run, the really, really wide give and go basically from these two. Cucurella plays in a nice curling ball that once again sits up on a platter. Oyarzabal's got a man on his shoulder, but he was able to just redirect basically the ball and use its momentum into the back of the goal. In the 86th minute, Spain takes the lead 2-1 in a crazy, crazy game. And that is how it would end. So notable thing. Oh, go ahead, Ethan.
I was just so convinced that this game was going to penalty kicks by this point, and seeing Spain break so quickly like that, oh man, I was on my feet. Then I was tintillatingly waiting for this offside call. It was inches away, and I do want to give a big shout out to the semi-automated VAR. It added a lot to this tournament, I think.
Yeah, Oyarzabal just barely onside for his goal. I didn't see it as offside during the run of play. I thought he was onside, and I was really glad that it did not get brought back because it was a great goal, great buildup, and even better finish.
Yeah, fairy tale ending for Spain there to slot it in the back of the net in the 86th minute to avoid extra time, to avoid penalties. Just don't even bother with that. We're just gonna just get it from open play. Uh, and yeah, as a Chelsea fan, I gotta shout out my boy Mark Cucurella, who got a lot of hate coming into this tournament. Jamie Carragher saying that Spain wouldn't be able to make it all the way because of Cucurella. And who's assisting that winning goal there? Yeah, it's that boy with the hair. It's Cucurella. He's definitely turned his career around after moving to Chelsea, having a very slow start. I thought he was out the door already. He gets his shot and he's back in the field. He's turning his career around. I'm proud of the guy. Much deserved. Much deserved.
Yeah, some notable moments from this match. Harry Kane was subbed off early in the second half for Ollie Watkins, and I thought Ollie Watkins put in a performance that I was kind of questioning why Harry Kane had played the amount of minutes that he had in this tournament. The different dynamic that Ollie Watkins was able to bring to the game. We know Harry Kane not to be as a super fast, pacey guy. He is great in hold up play, and also he's a lethal finisher inside the box. But Ollie Watkins over the top ability, able to run in behind, I thought gave England a different look that was a problem for Spain, and more minutes for Ollie Watkins. We might have even seen a goal from him, but the game would end 2-1, and Spain comes out as your Euro 2024 champions. Like I said earlier, Lamine Yamal winning Young Player of the tournament, absolutely deserved. Golden Ball went to.
I believe it got split between like 5 players, right?
Yeah, Harry
That's
Kane is
crazy.
one. I know that for sure.
Danny Almo received.
Cody Gakpo,
Hmm.
Mhm. I believe a Georgian.
Georges Mikwadat Mikwatad Tadjiki.
Okay, yeah. I love him. No, it was an awesome tournament for real. Like sick Euros. I honestly, we were chatting about this before the episode. I wish there was a third place game. I'd love to see who would have come in third between France and the Netherlands. Both were insane teams that just couldn't get it done this year. Uh, but yeah, both were super stacked. I honestly never would have picked Spain to win this out of the whole thing. Of course, you maybe would have put England in the finals, but Spain, they really were just kind of a low key squad before the tournament, and then yeah, immediately set fire, and everyone could tell that they meant business.
Yeah, and just they had great players in different pieces of the squad that just meshed together so well. Rodri, I mean, what really else is there to say about his performances other than so well rounded and complete? In my opinion, I think Danny Almo has a good shout for player of the tournament here. Not only did he uh at least tie for the golden boot, he had a game-saving goal line
Yep.
clearance in the 90th minute against England to win Spain the game. So not only did his performances offensively contribute to their tournament win, but defensively as well, he got it done. And big props to the Spanish center backs for being able to hold strong with Ollie Watkins. Going and playing 7 games in such a short time span like this is an incredibly taxing thing to do on the body. As far as I'm concerned, these men are Iron Men and deserved every bit of that trophy.
And they won every single game. 100% win record in the Euros, which is insane.
Yep. And so by my metrics, I would stack this team up against the Spanish dynasty of the late 2000s and the early 2010s. I do in for my money, I still think that's the best team to ever play that, specifically the 2010 World Cup winning side, but yeah, unbelievable performance from the team.
Any final
Yeah.
notes on the Euros, or do you guys want to move on to some COPA action?
I think it's time to move to Copa.
I think it is.
Well, gentlemen, the slightly more aggressive and uglier little brother of the European tournament is also come to a finish. This time, two South American powerhouses meet in the final between Argentina and Colombia in Miami, the American capital for both these countries. I thought that was a powder keg waiting to be ignited, and it sure was. The Before we can even get into the game, we have to acknowledge that it was delayed almost 75 minutes. The original kickoff was 8 Eastern and didn't kick off until 9:15 Eastern time. Reason being, there was a lot of chaos involving just getting into the stadium. It was a really chaotic and honestly kind of scary viewpoint online. I'm glad that at least most people were okay and that no one died. But to say that no one died is a positive from a soccer tournament match
It's
seems,
crazy.
yeah, it seems to be the bare minimum. With all that being said, we can get into the game. I will start with Argentina's starting 11 because I can also tell you all the teams that they play for. Dibu Martinez of Aston Villa starts off in goal. Gabriel Montiel, the Sevilla right back, makes the start. Christian Romero from Tottenham partners up with Lissandro Martinez, the Man United man. Nico Tagliafico, the Lyon player, gets a start at left back. Definitely a very good player. I think that he's been pretty well known for quite some time now, but Tagliafico is a top player still. Alexis McAllister, the Liverpool man, starts on the left side for Argentina. Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea gets to go. Rodrigo de Paul, the Atletico Madrid man, and Angel Di Maria playing in his final Argentina match. The Benfica player goes out and puts in a great shift. Finally, to round out the attack for Argentina, obviously the GOAT. Does anything else need to be said? Leo Messi gets a start along with Julian Alvarez, a very promising young and upcoming player for Man City. Uh, English champions. Yeah,
That's
whatever.
back to back to back to back
There
English.
are some important substitutions that I want to acknowledge for this game, but not Jacob's comment. Leandro Paredes makes it into the game for Argentina. Nico Gonzalez, Giovanni Lo Celso, who ended up providing the only assist of the match. Nicolas Otamendi gets into the game to shore things up for them. Lautaro Martinez, who was a very critical sub and also questionable as to why he did not get the start. The final player to see the field for Argentina, Nahuel Molina. That's 17 players in this pretty incredibly hotly contested 120-minute matchup between these dogs of a side.
So, question. They're allowed 6 subs during regular time, and then they got the extra one during extra time, correct?
I believe they're allowed 5 in normal time and then an extra one after extra
Gotcha.
time. I'm
Gotcha.
pretty sure that's how that works. To be determined. We're going to go for Colombia's starting 11 now, of which I can only name a few of the clubs that they play for. Honestly, only a few of their whole names. We have Vargas going out in goal for Colombia. Arias, who saw some time in the MLS, I can tell you that. Davidson Sanchez, the at least formerly Tottenham man, I can tell you that.
Berkey, Galatasaray, I'm pretty sure.
There we go. We have Cuesta, who I believe plays in Genk for Belgium. Mojica, moving into the Colombian midfield now, moving right on past that. Juan Arias on the left side, Jose Lerma in the middle, and Rios goes out on the right side in this 4-3-3. Here we go. We got James Rodriguez, the Colombian captain, the man of the player of the tournament. was awarded to James, and well deserved. He played incredible. A goal and 6 assists in 6 games. Incredible statistics. Cordoba begins the attack for Colombia, and it's rounded out by Luis Diaz, the Liverpool man. Of course, they also saw some pretty impactful substitutions in this game, specifically in the attack. They did bring on Kevin Castaño, Jorge Carrasal, Miguel Borja, Matias Uribe, Rafael Santos Borges Mori, and Juan Fernando Quintero make up all of the players that played in the Copa America final. By my count, 11 plus 6 is 17 times 2 is 34 different players.
Yep. That's good math there, Ethan.
That is a lot of people to see the field in one game, and honestly, it was well deserved. This was a cage match for 120 minutes. The tackles were flying in all over the place. A true South American contest. There isn't really a whole lot to get into this game. Some substitutions, some yellow cards, but we're going to get right into it, gentlemen. In the 112th minute, it took for these men to score. Argentina would find the back of the net first, and the only team to do so. Lautaro Martinez in added time, the second period of added time, just about halfway through. Montiel picks up the ball, finds Lo Celso. Lo Celso plays an inch perfect pass for Lautaro Martinez, and Martinez does what great strikers do. He finds the back of the net. And from my viewpoint on the couch, it looked like he just hit it as hard as he could at the goalkeeper's head. Goalkeeper did his best. It goes through his arms, and Argentina are crowned the champions of the Copa America for, I believe, a record 16th time. Unbelievable pedigree from the Argentinian camp. Jacob, I'm curious to hear what you gotta say about this game.
Well, as those of you know from the last video, I chose Colombia to win this game. Unfortunately, they did not. I'm the only one on this podcast who have bet against Leo Messi. And yeah, I ate my words. Obviously, Argentina is going to get the W. It was a crazy game. I think the huge standout from this is what took place prior to the match with people bum rushing the gates. I will get into my opinions of the match, but it is a really bad look, like we have covered before, on CONMEBOL, and honestly, also a bad look on the USA as well as tournament hosts. We've got a pretty big one coming here in 2 years, and if this is what is to be expected in 2026, then we are going to be embarrassed on the world stage yet again. So a lot of things need to be figured out. Security measures needs to be figured out. I am not in a management position to even begin to dive into what those need to be, but they need to happen. As far as what took place on the field, my God, it is exactly what you would expect from a South American clash like this. To me, it looked like a Columbia home game with all the Columbia jerseys in the crowd. And yet, anytime Messi touched the ball, the whole stadium went crazy. Unfortunate, Messi does go off early with that softball ankle injury.
Brutal.
At that point, I thought really there is a chance for Colombia to come back, and I think everybody, or not come back, but really win this game, and I think everybody else did too. But yeah, just the night and day, yin and yang from the Euro final to this one, both entertaining in their own right. And this one, if you like a dogfight, this was the game to watch, and I was glad it was able to come to an end before penalties, because I don't know what that field would have looked like if a team won in penalties.
Scary. Quickly, Jacob, I will say that I know FIFA has already come up with security measures for at least most of the stadiums for the upcoming World Cup, just to reassure myself, us, and the people watching, hopefully wanting to attend a World Cup game here in the States. So that does make me feel better. But yeah, it was really scary. I mean, seeing people going through the vents just after the last Euros, we know how dangerous a situation like this can be. So definitely want to see that reassured that it's sorted out before the World Cup.
I know that 20 people were arrested at the match, and two of those people were the president of the Colombian Federation and his son, who were arrested for trying to get onto the field post match. Um, Pretty funny, especially like a person in that high of a caliber. I thought they'd be allowed on the field low key, but
Yeah.
guess not. Guess not. They tried too hard.
What is you doing, Columbia Federation president?
He's trying, bro. He's trying to get his son a nice pick.
Yeah,
But
I wonder if bond is an expense that can be expensed.
yeah, it's a job expense. Job expense. But I do want to shout out Colombia for a great match and a fantastic tournament. They were insane. Got to shout out James for his resurgence. Of course, he's been pretty quiet as of late. Went to Saudi Arabia, out of sight, out of mind. He actually did do pretty decent over there. Spent like 4 or 5 years over there, and then he's currently out Sao Paulo FC in Brazil. I actually have a kit right there. That's Sao Paulo kit. But yeah, he had a fantastic tournament. It's awesome to see players like that who, have always seemed to have some certain spark about them when it comes to international tournaments. Gotta love it. I also want to shout out Cordoba for his chance that he had pretty early in the match, where he had a ball clipped over to him, and it reminded me of the James Rodriguez goal from 2014 where it got clipped up to him. He settled it off the chest and he flicked it off the volley towards the back post. This time it hit the post and went out instead of in. But man, could have changed history right there. So good on him from, yeah, I just want to shout out Colombia in general. Awesome team, great kits as well. We're going to do a big Copa kit clash at some point, maybe next week for our next episode, but I think they have a shout to make it really far in the tournament. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, just want to show some love to the losers. But I gotta give it up for the GOAT. Argentina do become one of the most decorated international teams with completing the sandwich, Copa, World Cup, Copa. So that's pretty cool. But I do want to pose a question for you guys. Who wins in the matchup between the Euro champion and the Copa champion? Spain versus Argentina. What's your score line? What's your score line? Who takes that game with Messi? Messi back to full health. Both teams at full health. I think Spain can win it, but there's something magical about Argentina at the moment, and they just know how to win major trophies. Uh, if you if you put like if you put a title on it, like let's say this is the World Cup final and it's Spain, Argentina happening right now, I'd say Argentina wins it. But if it's a regular matchup, Argentina versus Spain, Spain wins it.
I've already bet against Messi once on this channel and I learned my lesson. So I'm choosing Argentina in a friendly, in a warm up, in a World Cup final. Argentina wins it in a close 2-1, Messi with both goals, and then park the bus.
30.
To be fair, they are very good at exactly that strategy, Jacob. I'm not gonna lie. I think if the game were next week at some point, I think I'd pick Spain. And the reason behind that is just because I think Colombia overall in those first 90 minutes was the better team. I think they led on shots. They were pressing much more than Argentina. And I think what made Argentina so lethal and ended up making them champions is their ability to take the one chance that they were given. But only being able to really come up with that one chance in 120 minutes against Colombia, I would say that a Spanish team that dominated better sides could more than likely put together I'm going to say a decisive 2-0 victory with Nico Williams getting in behind.
Hmm.
I do want to say though that the Argentina team is they have the trait ride or die for Messi, which is hard to beat. We've seen it at least 2 times on the international stage work out for them in he in the biggest moments for them, the Copa America and the World Cup final. So the ride or die mentality for Messi has got them here, and as long as he's playing, they can beat anyone. So, but yeah, if I had to predict, I'm going 2-0 to Spain.
Yeah. Just thought that was a fun hypothetical there. But yeah, I mean, awesome, awesome Copa, awesome Euros. Both international tournaments were sick. I'm honestly really happy about them. We did get a third place match from this Copa America. So we got to see a matchup between Uruguay and Canada, which did go the distance. It went all the way to penalties, and we saw Uruguay win in pens to get that third place spot. So congratulations to Cal Hebert on fourth place at the Copa America.
No silverware though. He didn't get to bring back any medal.
It's all right. Would have weighed him down.
Just to somehow, in the most American way, tie the Euro Championship back into American soccer. There is some news coming from the Spain camp that ties back into the USA, and that is that the Spanish managers' representatives reached out to the U.S. Soccer Federation. So Luis de la Fuente's people reached out, not the other way around. And personally, guys, I would not be mad about that whatsoever. Granted, he just coached an amazing team to a final, but I think that's his brand of soccer that they're playing. I mean, hell, if he's interested, pick up the phone, US Soccer. That's all I have to say. Pick up the damn phone.
Yeah, what he was able to do with a relatively young Spanish team, kind of in the same age group as our US men's national team, I would be excited to see him manage our boys in red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I think giving our Americans, even though a lot of them do spend a lot of time overseas, to be fair, having a coach with foreign experience, especially winning at the highest level, would be super beneficial. And yeah, it's super exciting to see that he reached out to us. It just shows that people are getting hip to the fact that USA is a football nation. We're getting there, we're growing, and whoever's taking this US men's national team job, it's going to be big. Like that's such a huge project to be that manager who brings USA to our first major tournament glory, other than like Gold Cup and that sort of thing. But like that would be insane. I also did see that Rafa Benitez was also possibly linked with the USA job or some sort of eyeing that job. I am not a fan of his, so stay the fuck away from him. But De La Fuente, yeah, I'll gladly take him. Compared to our other candidates we talked about, it seems like USA has set their eyes on Herve Renard as our main choice, and our backup being Cherundolo, which I am, not a big fan of. I'd see Herve, but that was reported last week. Now that we are seeming to gain some interest now that the international tournaments are over, hopefully USA will take just a little bit longer to take these offers into consideration before we make our decision. But then again, we do need to work fast because qualifying and of course the Olympics, and we got a lot of work to do. So yeah.
Cool. Any final
All
thoughts,
right,
gentlemen, on
gentlemen.
these two tournaments?
The
No.
last, actually, yeah, I do want to just check real quick. I believe this Copa America trophy takes Messi to the most decorated soccer player of all time. I believe the previous owner of that record was Danny Alves at 45 years or at 45 trophies. We don't need to talk about what he's doing right now, but I believe this took Messi into 46. So huge increase to the GOAT status for the number 10. We love you, GOAT.
I mean, technically, Danny Alves has some silver wear on his wrists somewhere.
Maybe like up on the walls. Maybe it is the walls.
A Prison FC club legend.
Welcome to the club. New signing.
Oh.
New signing. But I did want a shot. I just checked. Lautaro Martinez did earn the golden boot with that final goal. He actually, I think he had 2 goals ahead of the next player. So yeah, he finished with 5. And then funny enough, Solomon Rondon got second. Throwback. I know he's still around. He plays in Mexico, I'm pretty sure, but
The
uh
West Brom
West
legend.
Brom legend, bro. West Brom
What a
legend.
man.
But yeah, I think that wraps up this episode of Outside the City. Thank you guys for sticking around, for watching some international soccer with us. Thanks for showing the love on these videos. You're the reason we do it. So yeah, just thanks for sticking around. Jacob, you want to hit us with that outro, baby?
Gladly. I think I've got it down packed at this point. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, don't forget to hit that follow button and rate us 5 stars. And last, but definitely not least, arguably most important, remember, tell your mother you love her. See you guys next week.
USA.
USA, USA, USA.